Holy shit. All right, guys. So finally, I got the last SH Figurarts Amazing Spider-Man figure that just came out. And I'm glad to have it because it is my first official Amazing Spider-Man figure that I've got. So as you guys know, the No Way Home line just finished getting its release with this figure here. And what they did was finally we got a new Tobey Maguire figure and a new Andrew Garfield figure for the first time since their respective movies came out. And I think it's a little late of them to drop it like 2 years after the No Way Home movie dropped, but I mean, it is what it is. These figures came out amazing to me. If I bring him up closer here, you could see that everything is nicely sculpted. You got the fabric details on both the red and the blue part of the suits. The logo looks really nice, reflective as well. Everything looks like the right shade. I mean, even the back logo looks great. So the nice thing about the logos is that even when you go to pose him, the lines follow up. So you don't have a weird cutoff when, you're trying to put him into those stretched out poses. But yeah, I mean, the paint came out great because I feel like when making, I know when they did the Mayfix figure, I know that figure had a problem with over time, the paint would kind of wear off and it would leave like a metallic white or silver kind of paint on it. And hopefully that doesn't happen with this figure, but is what it is if it does, but I doubt it'll happen. But yeah, I think the sculpting came out great. Now, the only downside to this figure in particular for me, which is really just a nitpick in itself, and I think honestly this is like a 10 out of 10, but only thing I think they could have improved with this was shortening like the neck. And I know people have been doing mods and I don't have the materials to really do that, but I mean, people have been shortening the peg on here to make it shorter and the head would sit a little lower, and I think it makes a big difference when you do the mod. And I just think in comparison between the arms and the legs, I think the legs are like a little bit short and the arms are just a little bit long, and not by much, but like it's a common thing, especially with the Tobey Maguire figure, which I will show right now. Both of them have a bit shorter shins in my opinion, but I mean, it's not a huge deal to me. Yeah, before I get into the actual accessories, I'm just going to show off the box real quick. So you got here just the nice art of the Amazing Spider-Man. You got the logo. Then on the side here, you got a nice picture of the figure. And then you got the money shot in the back, which looks great. Just a couple poses that you can do. And on this side, just the Amazing Spider-Man and a little picture of him there. Yeah. So now I'm going to move on and show you some accessories that this guy comes with. All right, let's get the elephant out of the room. All right, so this figure comes with no head. And to that I say, what the fuck is going on? Because they decided to drop one of the hardest Spider-Man figures of all time, and they had the head sculpt included, and then they refunded everybody with their money back, hopefully, and instead gave us more hands and webs. So anyways, moving on to the actual pieces of accessories that he comes with. So he comes with a bunch of webs. They're all the basic webs that you'd find in SH Figurarts or Mayfix figure. So I mean, they're all pretty much this, but different lengths. Like this one's not even painted the same. I don't know why, but yeah, we have this. So I don't ever really use those webs when I display my figures, but it's whatever. So all this guy really comes with is webs and just like a bunch of hands. So he comes with some whipping hands. He's got some casual hands. He comes with these basic stretched out straight hands, I guess. Couple pointers to recreate that one meme. Oddly enough, so what they decided to do instead of making fists, they just, I guess, for the sake of being cheaper, they just kind of combine the idea of hands that hold webs with the fist shape, so you could kind of use these as both. And lastly, a really strange, or should I say interesting, inclusion is these wall gripping hands. So like I said before, since they couldn't make the head happen, I guess what they just did is they made these a thing, since none of the other figures that I have from SH Figurarts really include these sort of hands. Now, I don't know about the new integrated suit, but yeah, I haven't really seen these hands before, so. Oh man, all right. I had to stop and eat because I was starving. Anywho, all right, let's get into the articulation for this guy. So we will start off, put him in a neutral position, all right? So now we'll start with the head. So head moves up, down, side, side, and then the neck moves up and down, side to side as well. So you could get really good posability out of that. Completely moves up about that much and down this much. You've got your butterfly joint here, and it actually comes out pretty far. Going back, not as much, but it moves up and down slightly. And then the shoulders on a ball and socket joint can go completely around, up and down. You got some bicep swivel, and you've also got the this right here in the bicep. You also have this strange rotation at the elbow, aside from the bicep swivel here. So it goes in two different directions, which is a little different than what I've seen before. I don't know if that's just, I don't think that's just a thing on mine. I don't know. I've never seen that before. Anyways, so like I was saying, you got some elbow flexion and extension, and then your hand is on a ball and socket joint as well. Okay, so outside of the arms for the torso, what we got, like I showed you before, we've got back extension and flexion here. And with the bottom of the torso here, it goes about back that much and forward this much. So there is a little plastic piece here for when you fully extend them. It's just kind of nice that they add that so there's not such a big gap. But for your ab crunch, this is about as far as he goes. Not too bad. So for the legs, what we got here is the basic SH Figurarts, whatever this piece is called. I know people like to make different names for it, but I actually like that they include this, because for figures like the Mafex figures, it's harder for you to go completely up straight with the legs and back super far. So this as far back as this guy goes for me, and then I guess it could be a little better with the leg going out, but like I said, it's not too bad. I mean, is what it is. You got nice little butt flaps here, and you got some rotation at the thigh. You got some knee flexion all the way, which is pretty nice, and some extension. No boot swivel, but to compensate for that, you got another ball and socket joint right here. You can move up, down to the side, which is really nice. They got another plastic piece right here for when you're doing those poses, which is really nice. And then what's also really nice is some toe flexion. So I like that a lot. Now for the aesthetics of the figure, the feet aren't really painted too specifically at the bottom. It's just flat black. But I mean, no one's really looking at the bottom of the feet, so it's fine. Coming up close here, I think they really got the likeness figured out pretty well. The lenses look really good, and you know, with past figures, it's something that's a little hard to replicate in the past, but they did a really solid job. And then for the web shooters here, if I come up close, you could see those nicely sculpted on, and then the hands also have the button that he presses to shoot the webs, which is a really nice touch. That's something I wouldn't even have realized if it wasn't there, but the fact that they included it is really cool. So yeah, that's about it for articulation. And also for the head, like I said before, like they robbed us of the head sculpt. I actually went ahead and bought one from eBay that this guy makes custom, and I'm sure you could find different ones off of eBay, you know, so I'm sure those guys are going to be making some good money since this guy doesn't come with a head sculpt. But honestly, looking back now at like the head sculpt, I feel like we're not missing out on too much, because it did look like Andrew Garfield, but it didn't have the strongest likeness in my opinion. But it is what it is. This is still a fantastic figure all around, and I will be making a video on that new head sculpt pretty soon whenever it comes in, so be on the lookout for that as well. So now we're going to do some quick comparisons. So what I got here first is the custom Mafex that I did before. So I'll just move the camera over a little bit. As you can see, this is actually the Mafex 75 comic book Spider-Man that I just modded up. So this guy is a bit taller, a little more lankier, and all that really resembles this guy is really just the head sculpt, to be honest. Give you a closer look at that. Here's the back on both of these guys. Here we got the OG Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from the early 2000s classic figure. Here we got my first SH Figurarts No Way Home Spider-Man, and honestly, these two aren't even on the same level because of how much detail this guy has versus how plain this guy is. And I think the height is a little bit off between these two as well, but I mean, same with the proportions. I think his proportions are way better than this guy's. Here we got the brand new Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man from SH Figurarts as well. And I'll just turn them around for you guys. And yeah, so I think these two definitely scale better together than the last one I just showed. And lastly, we've got the brand new figure I just made, or I mean, I made it a few months ago maybe. It was probably my favorite project on this channel. If you guys haven't seen the video, check it out. It was a lot of fun to make. This is the No Way Home end suit, and yeah, I think all three of these guys look great together specifically. But yeah, so I got a couple questions my last few videos on where I got these figures from that they arrived so fast, and personally I got mine from animeexport.com, and I know they released their figures kind of early, and honestly I got, as soon as you go through the whole shipping process, it only took me about 2 days to get these two, and that's outstanding shipping, especially since they're coming from different country. But yeah. Yo guys, so this is actually future editing Andy, and I just wanted to let you guys know that they revealed a few days ago this new red and blue No Way Home end suit from Tamashii Nations, and I will be covering that in a future video since I already got it pre-ordered. I think it comes out around December time, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully you guys tune in for that too. So for my final thoughts on this guy, the posability on him is probably going to be at least like an 8 or 9 out of 10, and then the sculpt itself with all the details is for sure a 10 out of 10. If I could go higher, then I would. This guy looks amazing, and for the likeness, I would give it probably like an 8.5 or 9 out of 10, just because of the proportions with the lanky neck and the legs. But honestly, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10, just because those are just nitpicks, and honestly, it does not make or break the figure for me. I still think this guy looks awesome in all his glory. Yeah, so you guys, I definitely would recommend this guy, and I have seen the Marvel Legends figures, and I'm not really a big fan of just like the proportions. I think for Marvel Legends in general, I think they came out good, but for the realism that these guys give off, I mean, it's kind of unmatched. But anywho, what I'm going to do is leave you guys with some nice poses, and I'm going to be a nice basic YouTuber and tell you all the YouTuber shit, like and subscribe, and definitely, you know, subscribe if you want to see any more future videos that I do. I do projects every now and then and some reviews like this. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next one.